Ever pondered on the question, what can we truly discern about the past? It's a thought that's often taken for granted, yet it's a riddle that historians and scholars have been trying to decode for centuries. The past, as it turns out, is not an entirely foreign country. In fact, it's a land filled with familiar sights and sounds, tastes and smells. Just like us, our ancestors had their favorite foods, their unique styles of dress, and their own architectural preferences. So, where do we start this journey back in time? Let's begin with the basics: what people ate. The diet of ancient civilizations was as diverse as their cultures. From the lavish feasts of Roman nobility to the simple meals of the medieval peasantry, food has always been a reflection of society's economic and social structures. Next, let's delve into the attire of the past. The kinds of clothes people wore were not just a matter of personal preference. They were a clear indicator of one's social status, occupation, and even political beliefs. And what about the types of houses they lived in? Whether it was a modest hut, a grand palace, or a carefully constructed pyramid, the architecture of the past reveals much about a civilization's technological prowess and aesthetic sensibilities. Now let's turn our attention to the lives of the people themselves. We can learn about the hunters who braved the wilderness and brought home the spoils of their hunts, the herders who nurtured and cared for their livestock, the farmers who toiled in the fields to feed entire civilizations, the rulers who made the laws and decisions that shaped the course of history, the merchants who facilitated trade and commerce, the priests who performed religious rituals and guided the spiritual lives of the community, the craftspeople, artists, musicians, and scientists who contributed to the cultural and intellectual development of their societies. But it was not all work and no play. Children, too, had their own world of games and entertainment. The games they played, the stories they heard, the plays they watched, and the songs they sang. All these give us a glimpse into the joys and sorrows, the hopes and fears of the young ones of the past. So what can we know about the past? Quite a lot, as it turns out. From the food people ate, the clothes they wore, the houses they lived in, to the lives they led and the games they played. Every facet of their existence tells a rich and fascinating story about who they were and the world they lived in. In summary, the past is a treasure trove of knowledge waiting to be discovered. It's a storybook filled with tales of courage and cowardice, love and hatred, triumph and tragedy. It's a mirror that reflects not just who we were, but also, in many ways, who we are and who we might become. So the next time you find yourself wondering about the past, remember, it's not just history, it's our story.